Breaking news, horses are extremely expensive. Horse riding is an extremely expensive sport. Wait, what? You knew this already? Huh, all right. Do you know how to save money with horses? Now that's a conversation. How do you cut costs without cutting corners? Glad you asked. Let's get into it, starting with feed and nutrition. These are very expensive, aren't they? Oh yes, but they are worth it. One fantastic way to save money is to buy your hay in bulk, because not only by buying in bulk are you spending less on delivery fees, but a lot of times you get a discount for buying in bulk. It's cheaper per unit by weight, however you're purchasing your hay. Buying it in bulk can be a great way to save some dollars. Store your hay properly. That means putting it on a pallet so that it's lifted off the ground, covering it with a tarp so that it doesn't get moldy, dusty, wet. Because anytime you have to throw out hay, you're literally throwing money away. And it's very sad. And I don't want you to be sad. So store your hay properly. Shop around, compare the prices of grain from feed mill to feed mill. Some of them are larger and they can afford to charge you a slight discount or a fraction of the price. Others are smaller and have to upcharge you. So shop around just like you would for groceries for you, and feed by weight and not by volume. A lot of times the feed, if you just pick up a scoop, it's not settled and you might actually be overfeeding your horse. And if your bag of grain says 30-day supply and you're feeding a scoop and you realize that actually it's not a 30-day supply because you've been feeding by volume and not by weight. So if you can, get a kitchen scale, or you can try getting one of those scales that they have at the grocery market and weighing out your grain that way. I do realize that that's not possible for everybody to get one, but if you can weigh your feed, that can be beneficial and a great way to save money. Simplify your horse's diet. Maybe your horse doesn't need grain at all. Maybe all those supplements are not strictly necessary for your horse. So cut back when applicable. If possible, grow your own hay. If you have even just a small plot of land to your disposal that you can plant some hay, that can be super beneficial. Even if it's only small, if you can substitute some of the hay that you would otherwise purchase, it can be a money saver. Potentially, you can save money by switching from loose salt and electrolytes to a block of salt. Now keep in mind, a lot of these salt licks are made for cows that have much rougher tongues than horses, and a lot of horses don't lick the salt block enough to get the amount of salt and electrolytes that they require in a day. So if you want to try this tip, just proceed with caution. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask your vet. Let's go over tack equipment and supplies. When you can, buy your tack used. You will save yourself loads of money. Not even just bridles and saddles, but saddle pads, stirrups, anything you can get secondhand, buckets, rakes, anything, absolutely anything. If you can get it used, get it used. Maintain your tack that you have. Clean with oil. Wipe the dirt off, wipe the mud off your saddle between every ride if you can. I know that's a huge time commitment, but you are going to get the most bang for your buck if you maintain what you have, and it's less money on repairs. You can make your own fly spray simply by mixing water, vinegar, and a little bit of mild dish soap. You add water and you've got yourself some DIY fly spray that is just a fraction of the price, because anything that they slap equine or horse label on, they charge you like 200% more. For example, if you are buying little stall mats for your horse's stall for the barn, instead of buying horse mats, get the cow ones. They're so much cheaper, but it's the same thing. And to make your fly spray a little more effective, you can try adding some citronella or lavender oil. Make sure it's non-toxic and that you are diluting it properly. When you can, repair, don't replace. It can be a lot more economical to get your saddle reflocked, resized, mended rather than dishing out for a brand new saddle. Consider buying in the off season. It's summertime. Who's going to be buying horse blankets? You, because you're smart and you want to save money. And if you buy a blanket in the wintertime, you're sad. And just like everybody else who's going to be paying a premium, because when you're buying supplies that are in demand at the time of buying, you're going to pay extra for that. So buy whatever you can in the off season. Label everything: your halter, your treat dispenser, your saddle, because even the little things like a curry comb, if that goes missing and it looks a lot like somebody else's, they might have inadvertently take it and claim it as their own, and then there you are again at the tack shop shelling out for a curry comb that you already have and no longer do. So label everything to preserve your property. Let's talk about barns and maintenance. So instead of relying solely on shavings and straw for bedding, consider investing in horse mats. If you want to save even more money, look for cow mats. They're the same thing, but they don't have equine or the horse label attached to it. So that's an automatic discount. And when you use stall mats, that is less shavings and less bedding that you're gonna have to buy to pad your stall. Buy your bedding in bulk, just like with grain and hay. A lot of times you get a discount and it's less money that you have to pay for delivery fees. Oh, and this cute little kitty wants to say hi. Is that it? Oh, okay. Is that why you tried to climb my legs like a tree? Say hello. Hello. Okay. Let that be a lesson to you. You come into my bubble, I'm picking you up. Reuse old buckets and containers. Does your feed bucket have a hole in it? Maybe use that bucket for putting under your horse's hooves. When you're scraping out their hooves, the dirt goes into the bucket. It doesn't need to be waterproof at that point. If you have an old supplement container, instead of throwing it away, maybe make it a new treat jar so you don't have to go out and buy a specific jar for holding your treats. Do-it-yourself repairs. YouTube has so many good editorial and educational videos. You can learn how to do just about anything online, from trimming your horse's feet if they're barefoot, to how to braid your horse's mane and clip them properly. So when you can, instead of paying a professional to do it yourself. Install timers on your lights. Your horses don't need to be illuminated 24/7. Consider getting timers that go off for several hours at nighttime when it's not needed. You'll save yourself a lot of money, and you can also consider switching to LED bulbs that use less energy, but they're a lot brighter. Hi. Hi, Saoirse. Use natural ventilation instead of a giant fan and having to, use more power to cool or heat your barn. Consider simply opening up the barn doors, open up the windows, let the, natural ventilation that exists in the world do its thing so that you can save even more money. Health and vet care. Stay on top of your preventative care. If you keep up on your vaccines, the yearly blood work, and your dental, you'll save yourself a lot of money in the long run because it's easier to prevent something than it is to treat it. So keep your horse as healthy as possible by doing either biannual or annual vet visits. That includes all your basic care. Learn basic first aid. If you think your horse has a temperature, learn how to take your horse's temperature. Learn how to draw some blood if you're comfortable. Learn what's normal for a horse's heart rate. Learn what's normal for a respiration rate. Also worth mentioning, not all horses are the same. So maybe a temperature of 101 is normal for the average horse, but 101 in your horse indicates that their internal temperature is elevated. So just get familiar with your horse, get familiar with first aid, how to apply bandages, how to clean wounds, what to use, what not to use, and you'll save yourself a couple of vet calls. When it comes to deworming, don't automatically reach for that syringe. Consider doing a fecal egg count so that you and your vet can determine if your horse even requires dewormer. Sometimes you don't need it necessarily, and if you can show your barn or your vet that you've got a negative fecal or a low egg count, sometimes you can skip the dewormer and save yourself some money. Group call farm fees if you can. If you're at a boarding facility, see if there's anybody else who also needs a dental, and if you guys can split the farm call. That way you're saving some money. Buy generic meds when possible. If they have the same active ingredient at the same concentration, it's the exact same thing. You're just paying for a more expensive label. Learn to do your own leg wrappings, sheath cleanings, and hair pulling and mane pulling so that you don't have to pay somebody else to do it. Transportation and riding. What if you wanted to go out on a trail ride and a couple of other people want to do that as well? Or say you want to go to a show. Split the cost of gas and parking fees with another horse person who's going to the same event as you. Consider doing virtual lessons. Some trainers will do either an online lesson where you just have a camera on you. That way you don't have to pay the instructor to come out. You don't have to pay for the instructor's one-on-one time. Sometimes you can do a virtual lesson and it's frequently less expensive than in person. You can also utilize a lot of riding lessons that are already posted online and watch them for free. Condition at home. Instead of paying someone to come to your facility or your barn to exercise your horse, if you can, exercise your horse yourself at home. That way you don't have to pay for someone to exercise your horse. Ride in groups. Arena hires and trailer fees, parking fees, they'll just be a fraction of the price if you get more people in on your horsey plans. Use cashback apps like Honey or Feed XL that automatically give you some cash back simply by purchasing through their app. This way you save a little bit of money and it adds up over time. You can also track your expenses in an app like Equilab or a Rodeo Planner so you know exactly what you're spending your money on so that you can have an overall picture of your horsey finances and make cutbacks as you see fit. Set a monthly budget. It is very easy to, buy on impulse. The horse industry, the equine industry, they're very good at marketing all the pretty saddle pads and the shiny new riding clothes and the fancy new bits and top of the line saddles. But if you set yourself a budget and stick to it, you will definitely be saving money because those impulse purchases add up over time. Ask for loyalty rewards. A lot of tack shops will offer a reward system if you inquire. Some of them advertise it, some of them are a little more assertive as far as asking you to sign up, but it doesn't hurt to ask about a reward system so that you can earn points, which translates to a discount at your next purchase. Barter your skills. Offer to groom someone's horse if they're going out to a show. Offer to trim someone's horse's hooves if you know how to do that. Take their vitals, pull their mane. Anything that you can do for your horse is marketable and you can offer services for a fee. Follow local tack swaps and online auctions. Sometimes you can sell equipment that you no longer need and get some money in your pocket just like that. Or sometimes you can find a great deal online. It can be harder to go to a tack shop where everything's nice and new, squeaky clean. So don't skip out on the online tack shops and the online tack swaps. Do-it-yourself sprays and grooming products. A lot of times you can just do a quick Google search, how to make your own detangler, how to make your own fly spray, and you'll save yourself a bunch of money. You can even consider offering these products for sale at your barn if it's something that you're comfortable selling, if it's effective and working for your horse. You can try using apple cider vinegar as a bug deterrent and also a disinfectant. Make sure you're not using too much of it. Definitely do a quick Google search. Make sure you're getting your dilutions right, your ratios of water to vinegar, because you don't want to, cause respiratory distress in either yourself or your horse or anybody else at the barn. But if you use simple products that are over the counter like white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, you can save yourself some money. Make your own horse treats. If you're buying those really expensive bags of horse treats that are like $12, why not just make your own horse treats? You can use things like oats, flaxseed, apples, carrots, and the best part, you can basically make it as low sugar, low carb as you like, simply by either adding small amounts of honey or molasses or skipping it altogether. And if you make them in bulk, it's not only a fun activity, but it's a great way to save some money when you're at the feed store. And there you have it, tons of practical, easy to do tips and tricks to save money as a horse owner, because it is a rough financial world out there, especially now, and it's just getting worse. So if you found this video helpful at all, give it a like and let me know in the comments, what is your favorite way to save money? What did I miss? I'll catch you next week. Bye for now.